The story begins with a wealthy and influential CEO who had built a life of success and luxury through years of dedication, hard work, and strategic thinking. Despite his achievements in the business world, he faced a challenge that money could not easily solve, helping his autistic son navigate the complexities of social interaction, particularly in matters of friendship and romance. The son, a bright and sensitive young man, had always struggled with social cues and often found it difficult to express himself in new or unfamiliar situations. The CEO, recognizing both his son's intelligence and his social challenges, wanted to create an opportunity for him to experience a sense of connection and acceptance in a safe, supportive environment. Understanding that traditional approaches, such as casual introductions or social events, might not provide the comfort or structure his son needed, the CEO decided to arrange a blind date. This was not just any date, it was a carefully planned opportunity designed to ensure that his son could meet someone willing to engage with him genuinely, without judgment. The CEO hoped that this experience would not only be enjoyable but also provide his son with a chance to build confidence and practice social interaction in a real-world setting. The decision to orchestrate the blind date reflected both the CEO's deep love and his proactive approach to parenting. He was willing to step outside of the typical parental role and facilitate an experience that would enrich his son's life. The setup involved selecting a suitable venue, carefully considering the atmosphere, and thinking about how the son might feel most comfortable. The CEO also took into account the personalities of the potential date candidates, hoping to find someone who would be patient, kind, and empathetic, qualities that would allow a meaningful connection to form. This thoughtful preparation demonstrated the father's understanding of his son's unique needs and his desire to see him succeed socially, not just academically or professionally. The blind date, therefore, was not just a social experiment, it was an act of love, patience, and careful planning, reflecting a father's dedication to ensuring that his child felt valued, understood, and supported. By setting the stage thoughtfully and intentionally, the CEO created an environment in which his son could thrive. The goal was clear: to give his son a chance to experience friendship, companionship, and perhaps even love, in a way that celebrated who he was rather than making him feel pressure to conform. This careful setup became the foundation for the events that followed, highlighting the importance of empathy, preparation, and understanding when supporting someone with autism in their social journey. Once the blind date began, the real challenge quickly became apparent. Despite the father's careful planning and the comfortable setting he had chosen, the environment of a first date can be intimidating for anyone, and even more so for someone with autism. His son, though intelligent and thoughtful, often found it difficult to read social cues such as facial expressions, body language, or subtle hints in conversation. Simple interactions that many people take for granted, like making eye contact, responding to small talk, or initiating a conversation, could feel overwhelming or confusing. For the young man, this blind date was more than just a casual meeting, it was an exercise in navigating a world that often seemed unpredictable and complex. For the girls on the date, the challenge was different but equally significant. Many were hesitant or unsure how to approach the boy, unsure of what to say or how to react. Some were nervous about unintentionally offending him, while others simply didn't know how to engage with someone who expressed themselves differently. The social dynamics of the group created a subtle tension. Everyone was curious about each other, but uncertainty held them back. For a moment, the date could have become awkward or stagnant, a situation where silence and hesitation overshadowed the potential for meaningful connection. This highlighted the broader social challenge often faced by autistic individuals, the difficulty of finding people willing to move past initial discomfort and engage sincerely. The father observed this situation closely, understanding that his son's experience depended heavily on how the other participants approached him. He knew that a single act of empathy, patience, or courage could completely change the outcome. The challenge was not just for his son but for everyone involved, to see beyond differences, to recognize the value in genuine human connection, and to respond with kindness and openness. Ultimately, the challenge underscored a fundamental truth: social interaction is a two-way street. While his son was learning to navigate unfamiliar social terrain, the other participants were also learning about empathy, courage, and the importance of inclusion. In this way, the blind date became more than just a meeting between two individuals. It became a moment that highlighted the challenges faced by people with autism in social situations and the critical role that understanding and compassion play in bridging those gaps. Amid the initial hesitation and awkwardness, a breakthrough finally occurred, the moment that would define the blind date experience for the young man. While many of the girls were unsure how to start a conversation, one girl stood out. She noticed the boy's quiet demeanor and the subtle signs of his nervousness, and rather than being intimidated or retreating, she took the initiative to speak to him first. This simple yet courageous act of reaching out immediately set her apart from the rest and became the turning point of the evening. Her approach was natural and empathetic. She didn't overwhelm him with questions or try to force a conversation. Instead, she showed genuine curiosity and interest in getting to know him. By starting with small, thoughtful comments and asking open-ended questions, she gave him the space to respond in a way that felt comfortable. This allowed the boy to gradually open up, knowing that he was being heard and understood. In that moment, he experienced something rare, an authentic interaction free from judgment or pressure, where his unique way of expressing himself was not only accepted but valued. The significance of her initiative went beyond just breaking the ice. For a person with autism, taking the first step in social engagement, or being approached in a supportive manner, can drastically influence confidence and comfort levels. Her decision to speak first demonstrated empathy, courage, and social awareness. It highlighted the impact that a single act of understanding can have on someone who may otherwise feel isolated or overlooked. By choosing to engage first, she created an environment where conversation could flow naturally, reducing the social barriers that often make such situations intimidating for autistic individuals. This first connection also underscored an important life lesson: meaningful relationships often begin with small acts of kindness and courage. While others hesitated, she recognized the opportunity to make a positive difference and acted on it. Her attentiveness and willingness to bridge the gap set the tone for the rest of the date, allowing the boy to feel comfortable, respected, and appreciated. It was a reminder that genuine human connection is built on empathy, patience, and the courage to reach out, even when the situation feels unfamiliar or uncertain. Ultimately, her initiative marked the moment when the blind date transformed from a potentially awkward social experiment into a genuine and memorable experience. It was a turning point not just for the boy but for everyone present, a demonstration that understanding, compassion, and simple human connection can overcome hesitation and create meaningful bonds that endure beyond the initial meeting. After the initial breakthrough, when the girl spoke to the boy first, the blind date began to unfold in a way that was both genuine and heartfelt. What started as a tentative conversation soon evolved into an authentic interaction, allowing both of them to connect on a deeper level. Unlike typical first dates that might revolve around superficial small talk or trying to impress each other, this interaction was rooted in sincerity and mutual respect. The girl's willingness to approach him without pretense gave the boy a rare sense of ease, and he began to open up about his thoughts, interests, and experiences in a way he rarely had the opportunity to do before. The interaction was characterized by patience and attentiveness. She listened carefully, responding thoughtfully to what he said rather than rushing the conversation or trying to steer it in a certain direction. Her curiosity was genuine, and her reactions reflected an understanding that his perspective might be different but was equally valuable. This gave the boy a sense of validation, showing him that his voice mattered and that he could engage socially without fear of judgment. In many ways, this was more than just a conversation, it was an emotional connection that bridged the gap between two very different life experiences. For the girl, the experience was equally meaningful. By engaging authentically, she demonstrated empathy, insight, and emotional intelligence, qualities that allowed her to connect with someone who might otherwise be overlooked or misunderstood. She recognized that the boy's behavior or communication style was not a barrier but a unique expression of who he was. This understanding allowed her to interact with him in a way that was both comfortable and enriching, creating a space where trust could develop naturally. The authenticity of their interaction also had a profound impact on the dynamics of the date. While other participants may have remained hesitant or unsure, the genuine connection between these two individuals set a positive tone for the environment, subtly encouraging others to be more open and considerate. The boy's confidence grew as the conversation progressed, reinforcing the importance of authentic engagement in fostering meaningful relationships. Ultimately, this interaction highlighted the transformative power of empathy and genuine human connection. It showed that when people approach each other with sincerity and understanding, social barriers can be overcome, and relationships, whether friendships or romantic, can flourish. In this case, the girl's willingness to engage authentically allowed the boy to feel seen, respected, and valued, turning what could have been an ordinary blind date into an extraordinary experience that would leave a lasting impression on both of them. The final key point of this story centers on the profound impact the blind date had on the boy, and how a single act of kindness and understanding can leave a lasting impression. For the young man, who had often struggled with social interactions due to his autism, the experience was transformative. From the moment the girl took the initiative to speak to him, he felt a sense of validation and acceptance that he rarely encountered in his daily life. This simple gesture helped him overcome the anxiety and hesitation that often accompany new social situations, allowing him to engage more freely and confidently than he had ever done before. During the course of the date, the boy began to relax and express himself more openly. He shared his thoughts, interests, and experiences, knowing that he was being genuinely heard. The positive reinforcement from the girl's attentiveness and encouragement gave him the confidence to navigate the social interaction in a way that had previously felt daunting. For him, the experience demonstrated that meaningful connections are possible when people are patient, empathetic, and willing to look beyond superficial differences. It reinforced the idea that his unique qualities were not a barrier to relationships, but rather something that could be appreciated and celebrated. The emotional impact extended beyond just the date itself. This experience likely boosted his self-esteem and offered a sense of hope for future social encounters. By being treated with respect and kindness, he gained a clearer understanding of how relationships can work when built on genuine care and understanding. He saw firsthand that people who are willing to step outside of their comfort zones can create moments of connection that are both rewarding and memorable. This lesson would remain with him, influencing how he approaches social interactions in the future and reinforcing the importance of empathy and patience. Furthermore, the experience highlighted the vital role that supportive environments and understanding individuals play in the lives of people with autism. When given the right conditions, people who listen, show patience, and engage authentically, autistic individuals can thrive socially and emotionally. For the boy, the blind date was more than just a social outing. It was a moment of recognition and acceptance, an experience that reminded him that he deserved to be seen, heard, and valued just as he is. Ultimately, the impact on the boy was profound. It demonstrated that even small gestures of courage and empathy can create meaningful change in someone's life. The blind date was not only a memorable experience but also a powerful lesson in compassion, understanding, and the transformative power of human connection. It served as a reminder that one act of kindness can resonate far beyond the immediate moment, shaping confidence, emotional well-being, and the way a person views themselves in the world.